Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How are you? Today I'll be taking you through another journey of one of my expeditions. I went all the way to Lake Bogoria. The inspiration out of this was I was watching a video about Kenyan tour sites, and I noticed for the first time Lake Bogoria. I've never been there. I had not really researched much about it, but I wanted to do a tour that will give me that ambience of just traveling to a new place that I know little about and just get to know more of Kenya. I began my journey on an early Saturday morning, left Nairobi. It was a chilly morning. I took the southern bypass, headed towards Naivasha and Nakuru. So ride with me as we explore Kenya and the beauty that lies within our country. Notably, early in the morning is the best time when truckers and long distance cars are actually on the way, just to try and beat the traffic when there isn't much traffic on the road. So in my early morning start of the ride, I encountered quite a number of trucks and transit vehicles on the way. If you have been to Naivasha from Nairobi or the other way around, on your way to, or rather on your way past the viewpoint, Kinungi, you'll experience this quite cold zone where it's very misty, the road is not very clear, and so I had one hell of an experience. Temperatures were going all the way to 9 degrees centigrade, so it was quite a cold ride, the better part of the morning, or rather just the early morning hours. But as I got down towards Naivasha, it got warmer and warmer as I went, and then it was hottest as I got to Baringo County. My inspiration for traveling is basically to experience life. Um, the first time I encountered a motorbike was um, when I was in my primary school, and my dad used to ride this DT Yamaha, and so I grew this passion of riding motorbikes. And so as I left the highlands of Limuru, Kinungi, and went down to Naivasha, it got a bit warmer. So you can see even my visor was a bit wet because of the mist that I had encountered a few kilometers back. And so the better part of my morning was a cold ride. Good thing I had checked out the weather, and so I was geared well enough for the cold. As we went down, or rather as I went down towards Naivasha, I enjoyed this landscape. As the sunrise gazed at the valley, there was this scenery that just looked so beautiful. Kenya is really beautiful. Just at looking at it retrospect, I really enjoyed this ride. And actually, at some point, you'll hear me shout, "Kenya is beautiful," just inside the helmet. So I couldn't contain all this beauty that our country offers. One of the most beautiful things about traveling is you encounter experiences that just change your perspective about life. The people you encounter on the way, the smiles they put on your face, and just the honesty of meeting strangers, unlike when you are amongst your friends. This aura of love and honesty that you experience. As I followed one of these cars, this one kid who was fixated at my bike, and so he was just looking at my bike from the back seat, and so this kid started smiling at me and waving at me, and so I waved back, and as I overtook them, I just hooted just to say hi, just to return the laugh back. And so such moments that you encounter on the road that you didn't encounter this while you are seated in your house, or just spending time in the city. One of the things about riding a bike is the freedom that comes with two wheels. The acceleration speed, the freedom to lane split and be able to move very fast, or faster than other cars, being able to get out of a risky situation on the road, be it a car that is oncoming, that is moving a bit fast, and so you are worried that the speed is not you're not comfortable with it, so you're able to give them space and just accelerate away. Being able to have this 360 view of what is around you, it's such moments that count when you're on the bike. So in my ride, my plan was to do stopovers at the major towns along the way, especially Gilgil. I wanted to do a diversion. However, I did not do the diversion, and I also wanted to stop at Naivasha, but I did not stop. However, as I got to Nakuru, I stopped, met an old friend, enjoyed an energy drink together, made some fun about our old days together and our explorations as teenagers and young men. And so after a few like an hour or so about together, I left Nakuru, headed towards Kabarak and to Mogotio. For this stretch of the road, I do not have a recording of it. However, I'll be sharing photos of the stops that I did and where I took photos on my Instagram and Facebook pages. Kindly check them out. At Mogotio, I also wanted to go at the equator point. However, I decided, because I'll be doing more like a round trip from Mogotio all the way to Marigat the following day, so I decided to divert at Mogotio, and then I'll visit the equator line the following day. So I got to the Mogotio plantations. A section of the road was tarmacked, another section was still under construction, and so it was a mix of off-road and on-road, but the better part of it, which was a stretch of around 41 kilometers to where I spent the night at NetBon Kudu Camp. So like, let's say 90% of the road was off-road. So it was quite a hell of a ride. I had a section whereby it was the road was wet, and so with my Road 5 or other on-road tires, it always gives me shivers to go through patches of roads that are wet, especially if the road is off-road. However, I had a very wonderful ride. The landscapes, just learning to ride, even to do off-road with a heavy bike, and also navigating a road that has quite a lot of small stones and gravel, marramed and very loose soil, sections with sand soil, just being able to navigate all that. And so it was quite an experience for me. So according to my map, I was to divert on the left at a small market called Mukuyuni. But one of the things that I've learned is to engage the locals and just be able to understand different things about their areas. So when I got to Mukuyuni, I stopped, had a chit chat with a gentleman who was supervising some civil works, that was rather some engineering works was happening, that is on some road construction. And so after the chit chat, an elderly gentleman joined us, and so I was just inquiring on the directions. I had my GPS and my phone Google Maps. However, just to engage the locals and understand how the road is, the weather condition, in terms of how safe the road is, how the environment is, bearing in mind that I was going for a stretch of around 30 kilometers, expecting no markets, no towns on the way, just being in the valley and going down the Rift Valley, actually, because as you head to Lake Bogoria, you are going down the Rift Valley, and so I inquired about the directions. This young man wasn't very conversant with the name. That is the name of the camping site that I was headed to. However, one of the things I noticed is the hot springs. So this campsite is within Moto springs, and so it's like 500 meters from Moto springs, and so that would have been the best name for me to inquire about. However, this gentleman was able to identify when I said Kudu, so he was able to identify that wild animal looks like a gazelle or antelope, something of the kind, and so he was able now to relate that Kudu and NetBon, this is just one and the same word, and so he confirmed the direction that I was headed to.
India njia ya NetBon.
Yeah?
NetBon Kudu.
NetBon?
Eh. Ama si mwenyeji huku?
Mimi mwenyeji nani?
Eh?
Hii ya Lake Bogoria hii ya Belgai sana.
Ati?
Hii ya Lake Bogoria.
Eh.
Kwa sana.
Eh.
NetBon.
Niaje? Yote nimuulize. Yeye hataki kusimama.
Leo nimesema jina lingine. Kwa nini unasema?
Inaitwa tu NetBon. But indo ya Lake Bogoria. Habari mzee? Njia ya kwenda NetBon ndio gani? NetBon Kudu. NetBon Kudu. Ama ujue hapo panaitwa aje? NetBon.
Niambiwa ni route where? Tafuta
Niyo, I think ni njia tu ya kwenda Lake Bogoria.
Anasema hii ya Maji moto.
Ndio hii.
Ni
huku mnajua Maji moto?
ndio hiyo China. Iko ndani, si hata ni center.
Si ile mali yenye kuna mali ile maji ya blue.
Ile inachemuka hivi.
Nyuma kidogo.
Hii Kapundulu. Kapundulu.
Kama niyo mnyama ndio hiyo sasa. Sawa sawa. Haya, asante.
The population around this place is quite sparsely populated, so along the way there weren't many pedestrians on the way, or even homesteads that I could see. So you just find one homestead like 2 kilometers apart, or even 5 kilometers apart, and so despite the loneliness, it felt safe. These are a safe zone. No bandits on the way, no any tribal clashes or anything of the kind. As we explore this, my riding and my adventures and my expeditions, I would like to talk about my journey of motorbikes and how I came to fall in love with bike riding. Back in my younger years, in my primary schooling, I had this neighbor kid whom we were quite friends, and so the father was living in the USA, and so at some point he came back to Kenya. So he came back with all his property, and one of the things that he came back with was this cruiser bike. It was an Honda, a red one. I really, that bike back then I didn't know models and all that, and this bike was, the sound was just something else, and so I fell in love with bikes at that point, and since till today, gone through high school, university, and now working, my passion for bike has always been growing and growing, and so I grew from a commuter bike, which was more like um, a sport bike, all the way now to I'm doing an adventure tourer. So my biggest inspiration in my travels is that live a full life, and in the future I'm looking forward to traveling outside the country, going to other continents. So this is a journey that we shall ride for long with you. So enjoy the ride as I ride and as I explore Kenya, see the landscapes, see the sceneries, the valleys and the hills, the lakes, the hot springs. This is a ride of my life. As I kept riding, I wasn't noticing that I was going down the valley, and so at some point I realized that I was deep in a valley, and so there was this hills on both sides of the road, and so I decided to stop to take some photography. As I was stopping, unfortunately I didn't put my side stand, and so I thought I did my side stand, and so as I was getting off the bike, I actually ended up dropping the bike. This got me so agitated and I actually ended up speaking to the bike and asking, what happened to you? What's wrong with you? What's up? And so you can hear me inside my helmet just ranting at my bike. Bearing in mind that I had this heavy load, my camping gear, my food, my spare parts and everything that I was loaded with. So it was quite a task for me to put the bike back up, bearing in mind also it was a sandy ground. I was kind of exhausted, and so one of the things why I was stopping was to take some photos of the landscape and also re-energize, take my energy drink so that I can proceed. And so I couldn't do either of this when the bike was dropped, bearing in mind that it was like 3/4 tank full, so the probability of getting your fuel leak out, and also the luggage and everything, you'd want your bike on its side stand. And so I struggled with it for a few minutes, got it up. Some kid that was passing by was quite amused by what I was doing, so seemed more like he was out scouting and checking out what I was doing. The moment I got the bike up, the kid just disappeared. I didn't notice him disappearing. There was an homestead that was a few meters away, so not sure if the kid was from that homestead or was from far. And so I had my drink, took my photos and then proceeded. There's a patch that I didn't record that was quite rocky, and so one of the things that I noticed around this area is the locals do a lot of charcoal burning. So I met a lot of border guys carrying charcoal, so each border guy doing like 2 sacks of charcoal. These guys seemed very proficient in riding in such conditions, and so I'll try to keep up with them, but bearing the weight that I had, my bike clearance, I couldn't match their speed, and so I enjoyed my ride. Got to NetBon Kudu Camp. I spent my night there, and I really enjoyed my time there. Visited the springs, had a bath of the hot water, and then the following day I made my breakfast and then left for Lake Bogoria. So as I've mentioned, I got to NetBon Kudu Camp, let myself in. This was one of those sunny days, very hot. The temperatures were hitting at around 36, 38 degrees. So I got in, went to the reception area. The camp manager wasn't on location, but there was one of the servicemen who was just within the vicinity. So he came around, took me around the camp. Whenever I'm camping, I always take a walk around just to see the amenities around, the best camping locations, or preferably you might find that they have very good houses. Like in this case, they had bundus, which are traditional huts where you can spend the night. However, I preferred to do my own camping. So I spotted a spot which was just by the river that generates from the Maji moto springs. So I had a wonderful time at the camp. Spent the evening and then the night I did my cooking. Went to the river, had a hot bath. This water, the temperature is around 20 degrees or thereabout. So one thing fascinating about this locality or this village was that the locals do take their bath just on this river. So as I was swimming, so many locals were coming by and taking a bath, oblivious of my presence, be it old men, young men, elderly women, or teenage girls, all alike. And so I assimilated to the culture of the people here. Night came, made my supper, had a wonderful night with the birds chirping, crickets, sounds, and the water gushing in the mini waterfall that we have here. And then came morning, I watched the sunrise, and then I left the wonderful camp. Now headed to Lake Bogoria. Lake Bogoria is under community management, so I paid at the entrance for me to get to the conservancy of Lake Bogoria. And so this was like 5 kilometers to the lake. I got to the lake, enjoyed the view. So I didn't do much of the recording because this was now real off-road, very dusty road, rocky, and also very steep. Being that Lake Bogoria is in the middle of a geological structure bounded by a fault along one side, so you find that actually the description of Lake Bogoria is half graben. Ideally means that it is in between a fault, and so I had to go up and hill and then go down so that I can find the lake in between the fault of like a section of the rift. And so I didn't do much of the recording at this section, bearing also in mind that I wanted to save my batteries for my ride back. And so I got to the lake, did some photography. I'll be sharing on my social media channels, Facebook and Instagram. Kindly check them out. And so on getting to the lake, I had this wonderful view, the flamingos and this quietness, being that it was a Sunday mid-morning. Very good thing, the place was deserted. There weren't any tourists, either local or foreign tourists. I had the viewpoint to myself, and so I enjoyed, went down to the lake just to enjoy the scenery and the birds. And then I rode back, this time not back to Mogotio, but now did the round trip, went all the way to Marigat, because now this road from Lake Bogoria to Marigat is quite much better. And also bear in mind it's a stretch of around 18 kilometers. So I rode all the way to Marigat, got to the tarmac road, and then rode all the way back now to Nairobi. In the next video, I will be now showing you my journey from the camp all the way to Lake Bogoria, the fascinating scenery, the landscape, the wonderful environment, despite how hot it was. And so I'll be taking you through my journey to now exactly to Lake Bogoria and back to Nairobi. So watch out for the next video. It will be out soon. Thanks a lot for watching. Kindly like, comment and subscribe, share with your friends, and comment how I can get better and improve on this as we explore our country and enjoy the sceneries, the places that we have to offer, and the expeditions.